He has the choice of choosing map. He can also choose random.
The interesting thing about going random is that you can't pick a map because you don't know what god you're gonna have, so you don't know what's gonna be good.
Alright, well he has chosen random, so Ghostlake up, currently 1-0 in the best of 5 finals. And TheMista has chosen random on random map again, so Ghostlake will be playing Poseidon, and TheMista gets Thor.
Okay, we're back with game number 2, and Ghostlake pauses the game. And
It's on Highland. TheMista, they have the option. Okay. They have the option of both agreeing to not play Highland and having it not count as their vetoes.
It's not that Highland's a bad map, it's just that Highland's a bad map. Right? So bad.
And here we go again, into the game. Ghostlake still choosing Poseidon, and let's see what TheMista rolls this time around.
Oh, Poseidon versus Poseidon mirror on Anatolia. Spawning in the bottom of the map in the blue color. Playing Poseidon. It's Ghostlake. Currently up 1-0 against his opponent who's in the top of the map playing in the red color. Also as Poseidon, TheMista. So this is really interesting, and it's going to come down completely to skill and the map spawned. So if what happens is Mr. gets a bad map, he's going to have to see what his score is like. The score is currently 1-0. If you are missing up for Ghostlake, if you just missed the first game and you're just tuning in now, Mr. rolled Gaia playing random against Poseidon, and he just didn't really have the map in order to win the game. So Mr. throwing up his dock at the moment and be able to get fishing ships up. There's a little bit of harass onto his villager there, but nothing that he can't handle. He wants to throw up a house as well, I assume, with that villager at some point. I'm always interested to see what Mr.'s build orders are on these sort of maps. He sometimes like cuts down straggler trees, which I don't know whether is actually worthwhile or not, because there's a lot of walking distance. But that being said, yeah, I don't know what is actually better in terms of like straggler trees or not. If you move straight to wood, then you'll probably get more wood later. You get more wood later, but you get more wood earlier if you move them to straggler trees. So you get that early wood to get a fast second fishing ship out. Perhaps is why he chooses to do it. It means you don't have to build that storehouse for a little bit later. So I guess that's smart in that way, in that regard. So we see seven villages on wood for Mr. We see 7 villages on wood for Ghostlake. So both players using very similar builds. See a village going over to the left side of the map for Ghostlake to throw his second dock up. Probably also for Mr. It looks like Mr.'s a little bit behind because he had some idle town center time. Just due to something or other, I'm not sure why. But he had some idle town center time. It's just a poor villager choice, I guess. There's some people in chat talking about Gaia and why Gaia is considered bad. Gaia is considered bad because her early game is incredibly weak. She has no access to heroes because they're extremely expensive, and free myth units means you have to deal with myth units early and you can't. So it just comes down to the fact that her early game's weak, and she can't deal with myth units unless she has like a really strong economy. But in some cases, she functions quite well in some matchups. But most of the time, it's very difficult for her to win. She has to really play well. You can see Mr. only using one dock. He's got his temple up, so he's going to be going through Hermes extremely quickly before Ghostlake even gets his temple up. So Ghostlake's going to be under a little bit of pressure just to deal with like that initial boats doing stuff. He's also got a fishing ship idle in his dock, which is a little bit odd. I can't explain why he's doing that. He did take it out and stuff like that, which is nice. He's got 9 villages on wood and he's got 6 villages on gold, so he's definitely going for a classical fight on water, which is what he wants. You see Hermes going, you see Ares going for Ghostlake, not Hermes, and Ghostlake's got 6 villages on wood and 11 villages, sorry, 6 villages on gold, 11 villages on wood, and 1 village on the temple. So what this means is Mister's going to have to use his centaur to deal with the Cyclops, and the Cyclops is going to be attempting to pick off some docks. So it's just going to depend on where Mister sends that initial centaur, and if Mister gets out a hero as well to deal with stuff like that. Because if he doesn't, then adjacent can be used to pick off the centaur while the Cyclops picks off docks. I wish pitch speaking was easier, but it just really isn't.
Especially when you've been up since 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, it's good. But how long have I been going for? We've been going since 3, and it's 8.
Yeah.
God.
We're on hour number 5.
Brilliant. Just gonna again, while this is a bit of a dry spot without much happening, just throw a massive shout out to the experts who are playing in this tournament for giving up their time to play. Zuda for hosting the tournament, giving up his time to host it and make sure everything's working, fronting the $200 cash prize for it, and also to you guys for watching us, because otherwise there wouldn't be much point in doing it, because we want to provide these games for you, not for us. Anyways, there you go. That's my little splurge. Mister's taking some hurt now from that Cyclops at the top of the map. His centaur's sitting around not doing much with the Theseus, just protecting his wood line. So it's interesting. I don't think that Mister's going to be doing much at the top side of the map. He's really producing all of his triremes at the bottom. He's only producing 3 actually. And a little bit of micro now is going to go on just to deal with what Ghostlake's doing. Both ships have taken a roughly about the same amount of damage. However, Ghostlake's dealt more damage to one ship on the trireme. That means that if the time comes, Ghostlake can pick off that trireme faster than Mister can. And we see a little bit of hit and run going on there, and 5 ships now to 3 ships for Mister, and Ghostlake just garrisons one fishing ship into a dock, and then now has a little bit of an advantage on the water. However, Mister's focus firing really nicely, and forcing fishing ships and stuff to die and stuff like that. Mister reducing 1 trireme onto the map, the top side of the water to deal with Ghostlake's 2 triremes, and he's just going to try and prevent Ghostlake from getting that side of the water while he tries to take the bottom side of the water. Mister's now got 3 villages on favor. He's going to be producing an armory, and he might be going to the heroic age for that. Well, he's producing the armory. He might be building, teching into the copper shields, but more likely he's going to be going to the heroic age. And he's still producing more units to gold. I don't know how much food he has at the moment, but he hasn't really produced anything which costs food just yet. So I'll be interested to see what he gets out of that. If I go to the post game and I look at how much food he's got, looks like Ghostlake's sitting at just under 850, and Mr. is just at 700. So both players go into the heroic age, going to be using those Dionysus Skylar. You see 17% for for Mr. and 65% for Ghostlake. So Mr. is going to be under the pressure initially, but he's going to be able to deal with that a little bit later. So both players playing really well, getting the tech that they need to get stuff happening. Ghostlake's produced 2 stables though, so he's going to be able to start putting some pressure onto the land, whereas Mr.'s got nothing but an armory, so he can't really produce anything like that. And you can see Mr. taking some damage from the ships and stuff. He's going to be retreating out of there. He doesn't really want to fight just yet. He wants to get his Scala out. And if we look at what Ghostlake's producing, he's actually not produced any Scala on the bottom side of the map, whereas at the top side of the map he's got some Scala producing. I don't know where he's sending them though. Is he trying to hide them? I'm not sure. Anyways, Mr. Scala pops out at the bottom side of the map. There's a Scala for Ghostlake, and some ramming galleries again. Sorry, some Pentaconta. I don't actually know. They're so. I'm just gonna call them ramming ships, whatever. They're getting produced for Mr. to deal with the Scala and other stuff of Mr. Sorry, of Ghostlake. Stables getting produced, more stables, more stables, more stables. Again, Mr.'s not got anything out just yet, but he doesn't need to be. It's all about timings and when you get stuff. What Ghostlake's going to do is he's going to try and control the land, and if Mr. picks his fight well, then he's not going to have to do anything with that. Unfortunately for Mr., I think he's been sort of baited into producing these ships because I don't think Ghostlake cares much about the bottom side of the map. He built a Scala on the top of the map to like put some pressure on, I guess, and Mr.'s reacted with his own Scala and a Pentaconta, and he's gotten the heroic fleet upgrade as well. So he's ready to fight right now, and I think it looks like what he's trying to do right now, what Mr.'s trying to do right now is bait out more stuff from Ghostlake, because he doesn't want to fight on the land just yet. He's got 1 stable out, and he's starting to produce some of the hippocons and cavalry and all that other good stuff. And there we go. He's now going to send out those heroic fleet upgraded Pentaconta. Going to be able to pick off the Scala extremely quickly, while his Scala is going to be able to tank all that damage. You see how many arrows that it's tanking, and it's just like crazy stuff. And now the big things happening right now is this push with Ghostlake. He's going to move in, see if he can pick off some of these villages off this gold mine, force them onto the back gold mine, which has only got 500 gold, and if he can control that, then it's going to be extremely difficult for him to like win, I guess. There's Jason's also, sorry, the RTS is also extremely low HP. He's trying to pick off the Hydra, but the Hydra is just sort of waddling away from him while the Hippocon sort of attack stuff. And now Hippolyta is getting produced by Mr. He's going to lose a couple of villages on this gold mine, but I'm not sure how much he cares about that at this point. He's got a fair amount of stuff, and he's producing some Prodromus as well, which you're going to be able to deal with these Hippocon. And he is focus firing the correct ones. Unfortunately for Ghostlake, the town center is really doing a lot of damage to his Hippocon, but he is picking off a fair amount of units. His Hydra did die, and I'm just interested to see where Mr.'s Hydra went, because I'm sure that he had one at some point. And there we go, there's the beauty of Ceasefire getting utilized in order to survive for a little bit longer. What Ceasefire does is it allows you to boom freely. You don't have to produce units if you have Ceasefire, because you know you have a minute of no attacking. So you can boom and you can use Ceasefire when you want. But unfortunately for Mr. Ghostlake's got the middle town center. It's just the right-hand town center, which is a little bit, which I don't think Ghostlake can really get. And if he does get it, because Mr.'s got control of the water, he can siege that with siege ships in the Mythic Age. So it's not a bad thing that Ghostlake's upper town center at the moment in the middle of the map. It's just the fact that there's 2 gold mines here. Oh, and there is Mr.'s Hydra. I found it. I found Mr.'s Hydra. He's next to the 2 gold mines. He's just chilling. He might want to use that in his army. Just quietly. Also, when he picks off this location on the bottom hand side of the map, he's going to have to delete some of his ships, which is going to be a little bit annoying, but that's okay. He did manage to win that side, and he's won the most. He didn't win the top side, but he's done really well with it. Again, Mister's just defending against Rays at the moment and trying to boom into a position where he can start to continuously produce stuff. It's a really nice building placement though by Mister. He's actually managed to only get pestilenced by two Prodromus, which is pretty good. It's pretty good. And he's actually going to be able to defend really well now because Hippocon do not beat Prodromus. They are actually countered by Prodromus. There's a rock, paper, scissors, lizard, Spock. If you've ever watched The Big Bang Theory, it's sort of like that. The crazy thing, you've got infantry beat cavalry, cavalry beat Toxotos, Toxotos beat infantry, but then counter cavalry beat cavalry, obviously because they're called counter cavalry, but yeah. And then counter infantry beat infantry, and counter archery beats archery. But yeah, that's the way the counter system works in Age of Mythology. It's pretty simple, but it's hard to actually effectively use. And we see this fight going heavily in the favor of Mister. He's got more Prodromus than his opponent on Ghostlake, and he's going to force Ghostlake out of there. And basically, Mister now is going to think about grabbing his third town center and possibly go to the Mythic Age. He doesn't have a market up just yet, but he is putting that on the very side of the map because he's got he's got such a good trade route for Anatolia. It goes from one side of the map to the other side of the map, and he's got a safe trade route as well with that bottom, with that cliff being opened. Unfortunately, it might get a little bit jammed up if it gets to late game, and you'll have to wall that off in some way. But we'll see what actually happens in regard to that. Ghostlake moving over to the bottom town center, which Mister hasn't yet thought about getting. Mister's deleted all those triremes except for the one, but he still hasn't built up his. He's got some idle villagers down on the bottom with the fishing ships, which he needs to sort out at some point. And it looks like Ghostlake's going to be attempting to pick off the docks and all that other stuff like that. So oh, there we go. Mister is going to the Mythic Age through RTS-S, getting those cheaper upgraded armory upgrades. I don't think either player has really invested too much into armory upgrades. No, neither player has. Mister's gone for the Thracian horses upgrade, whereas Ghostlake went for I can't say it. Bacchanalia. It's basically 5% HP to all units, which is not as good as the Dionysus cavalry upgraded units, because that gives them, what's that, 24 hit points? Yeah, gives them 24 hit points, which is crazy. It's crazy, as opposed to the 6 hit points which the all unit Dionysus upgrade gets. But I mean, it's wood and favor as opposed to food and favor, which is pretty big when you're not really gathering much food. And Mister's now gathering some gold from his outer gold mine. He needs to drop a storehouse, or those villagers will start walking away from the gold mine, which is bad. I don't know if he's noticed that just yet, because he's probably microing in some other spot. Yep, and there we go, he's throwing up that storehouse. Might want to throw a fortress there as well, just to secure it, because that'll be good. We can secure the gold mine. Like and Mister just pushing in here now. He's picking up a bunch of units for free. He's got the Colossus out, and it looks as though Ghostlake isn't even close to the Mythic Age because he didn't have that much food. And this is the beauty of having fish for longer than your opponent, especially with upgraded fish. And you see Mister now pushing into this town center. He's going to try and pick off all of the medium Prodromus, which are Ghostlakes, and Ghostlake decides to tap out. GG, well played by